Russians and Chechens, two peoples that history often places on both sides of the same border. We associate some with the endless plains of Eastern Europe, others with the harsh peaks of the Caucasus. For centuries, they have alternated between alliances, clashes, and mutual distrust. But what if beneath all the historical layers, a much older story lies hidden? Is it possible that the ancestors of these two peoples were much closer than we assume? Can DNA reveal connections that chronicles never recorded? And will genetics confirm our ideas about the origins of Russians and Chechens, or will it completely overturn them? Today we will trace the traces left, not in the annals, but in the human genome itself. We will compare ancient migrations, archaeological cultures, and genetic data to understand whether there is a deeper connection between the Russian plains and the Caucasus Mountains than we once thought. In the history of Eurasia, there are two ethnonyms that have been perceived as opposites for centuries. On one side are the endless forests and steppes of the Russian plain, which gave rise to a vast state and a powerful layer of Slavic culture. On the other are the impregnable ridges of the Caucasus, the harsh mountain ethic, the unity of the Tibets, and the freedom-loving spirit of the Chechen people. We are accustomed to viewing relations between them through the prism of conflicts. Historical accounts often emphasize the Caucasian Wars and the dramatic events of the 20th century. Thus, the image of eternal confrontation has gradually become part of the public consciousness. Sedentary farmer versus mountain warrior, northern giant versus southern neighbor. At first glance, there is an insurmountable gulf between them, created not only by geography, but also by their origins. But what if this historical distance is only a superficial layer? What if the truth lies much deeper, where chroniclers cannot reach, but where molecular biology preserves its memory? Today, we begin a study that could change the way we look at the map of peoples in Eurasia. We will ask questions that, until recently, seemed impossible. Is it possible that Chechens and Russians bear traces of the same ancient populations? Did their distant ancestors share common migration routes thousands of years ago? And what genetic imprint dominates the two peoples today? To find the answers, we must put aside politics and language differences. Chechen and Russian belong to completely different language families. At first glance, this seems like definitive proof of a lack of connection. Genetics, however, remembers times when modern languages did not yet exist. It preserves traces of ancient populations that disappeared but left their mark on the human genome. In this study, we will use as witnesses the Y chromosome, which traces the paternal line, and mitochondrial DNA, which preserves the maternal line's heritage. We will examine paleogenetic data, compare ancient samples from the Yamna culture and finds from the Caucasus, and look for intersections between the two peoples. Before we move on to genetics, we need to trace the historical picture. Official historiography associates the formation of the Russian people with the East Slavic tribes that settled the East European plain. Polyani, Drevliani, Krivichi, and Vietici create a huge conglomerate of communities. Historians recognize that the Slavs actively interacted with the Finno-Ugric peoples in the north and with the Baltic tribes, and in the south, their development was closely linked to the steppe world. The Chechens, for their part, are considered one of the most ancient indigenous peoples of the Caucasus. According to the prevailing scientific views, their ancestors are the Nak tribes, who for millennia inhabited the mountainous regions. Their origin is often associated with the Kura-Arak and Koban cultures. At first glance, the difference is obvious. If the history of the Slavs is associated with movement and expansion, then the history of the Chechens seems to be a history of resilience and attachment to their native land. But between the Bronze Age and the early Middle Ages, numerous nomadic peoples crossed Eurasia. Scythians, Sarmatians, and Alans left deep traces in the region. It is here that one of the most interesting questions arises. The Alans were an Iranian-speaking people. If some of the ancestors of the Chechens were connected to the Alan world, why does their language today belong to a completely different family? And if the ancestors of the Russians also interacted with the Alans, is it possible that some of this heritage is present in both peoples? For a long time, the Caucasus Mountains were considered an insurmountable barrier, However, archaeology shows a different picture. Cultural influences, technologies, and ideas constantly flow through the mountain passes. Similarities are found in ceramics, metallurgy, and even in certain mythological motifs. This raises another question. If we remove language barriers and political borders, will we find common ancient traces in the genetic material of Russians and Chechens? The investigation is just beginning. In the old chronicles, we find information about the Yasis and Kosogs. The Yasis are the Alans. For the ancient Russian principalities, the Caucasian world was not a distant and unknown land. The chronicles describe the campaigns of Prince Sviatoslav against the Yasis. Russian rulers intermarried with peoples from the southern steppes and the Caucasus. Georgian chronicles also mention the ancestors of the Chechens as influential mountain communities and allies of the Georgian czars. Gradually, an interesting picture emerges. Alanya becomes a kind of bridge between different worlds. If the Slavs maintained ties with the northern Alans and the ancestors of the Chechens participated in the southern Alan world, is it possible that one of the points of intersection between the two peoples lies there? Archaeological data show that even about 5,000 years ago, on both sides of the Caucasus Range, there were developed cultures. In the south, the Maikop culture flourished, and in the north, the Yamna culture. Objects made using technologies typical of the Caucasus have been found in the pit burials, and traces of steppe influences are visible in the Caucasian finds. This is no coincidence. It is evidence of a long-term exchange of technology, ideas, and probably people. Chechen history is closely linked to the Kobayan culture, known for its high level of metalworking. Bronze products from the Kuban reach far beyond the Caucasus. At the same time, some of the artistic motifs of the steppe peoples show similarities with the Caucasian tradition. All of this suggests that the Caucasus and the northern plains were not completely separate worlds. For millennia, they have participated in a common space of cultural exchange. Linguistics also offers interesting observations. The Russian language belongs to the Indo-European family, and Chechen to the Nakh-Dagestani family. There is a considerable distance between them. However, researchers have discovered separate layers of words and terms that may reflect very ancient contacts between the steppe population and the Caucasus. But will these cultural connections be confirmed by genetics? That's where the most interesting part of our research begins. When the distant ancestors of the Slavs arrived in Europe, they encountered people speaking languages related to the North Caucasian groups. This is where we come into the most important part of our research. Today, geneticists can extract DNA from human remains that are thousands of years old. This allows us to look beyond written history. About 5,000 years ago, the steppes of Eastern Europe were home to the bearers of the Pit culture. Their genes later became one of the main components of most European peoples. In modern Russians, the steppe heritage occupies a significant part of the genetic profile, but the same component is also present in Chechens. This means that the distant ancestors of both peoples participated in the same processes of population, movement, and mixing during the Bronze Age. Even more interesting is the Caucasian hunter-gatherer component. This is an ancient population that has survived in the Caucasus since the Ice Age. Among Chechens, this component is particularly strongly expressed, but traces of it are also present among Russians. The reason is that it entered the steppe populations long before the emergence of modern peoples. Thus, the blood that we today define as Caucasian has been part of the genetic history of Eastern Europe for millennia. Similarly, the steppe heritage runs deep in the Caucasus. When we analyze the genetic profiles, we see different proportions, but also many common elements. The Russian genome contains ancient North Eurasian and European components, combined with heritage from the Caucasus and the Middle East. The Chechen genome is dominated by Caucasian and Middle Eastern components, but also includes a significant North Eurasian layer. This means that a Russian from the southern regions and a Chechen may be genetically closer to each other than to some more distant European or Middle Eastern populations. Haplogroups are particularly telling. Haplogroup R1a, often associated with Slavic peoples, is widespread among Russians, but is also present in the Caucasus. Some of its Caucasian lineages are very ancient and reach the region as early as the Bronze Age. On the other hand, haplogroup G2, which is among the leading lineages among Chechens, is associated with early agricultural and metallurgical societies in the Caucasus. It is also present among the Russian population, especially in the southern regions. Thus, it turns out that some of the male lines of Russians and Chechens originate from the same ancient processes that developed millennia ago. About 5,000 years ago, some of the ancestors of today's Russians and Chechens likely lived relatively close to each other. They exchanged technology, goods, and cultural ideas. They may even have formed mixed communities. Today, these peoples appear vastly different, but biology tells a more complex story. Genes show that human populations never existed in isolation. The Scythians and Sarmatians also left their mark. It is their degree component that is found among both the Russians and the Chechens. Comparisons between ancient Scythian remains and modern Caucasian populations show remarkable genetic relationships. The Alans are particularly important. A significant part of the heritage of the peoples of the North Caucasus is connected with this ancient Iranian-speaking world. At the same time, Alan traces are also found among the population of the southern Russian lands. This allows us to draw an important conclusion. Russians and Chechens are not close relatives in the strict sense of the word, but they share common genetic layers formed over a long period of Eurasian history. The differences between them are primarily the result of different cultural, linguistic, and historical paths over the past millennia. However, if we go back far enough in time, the boundaries begin to blur. These two peoples resemble different structures built from the same ancient materials. History has taken them in different directions, but some of the foundation remains common. Our journey through history and genetics is coming to an end. The data shows that notions of absolute national purity, or eternal foreignness, rarely stand the test of science. DNA tells a story of continuous migrations, encounters, and mixing of people. Genes do not recognize modern borders. They preserve the memory of ancient connections that existed long before the emergence of today's states and peoples. The history of Russians and Chechens is an example of how different living conditions can create different cultures and characters. Mountains build one quality, plains another, but deep beneath these differences remain traces of a common past. That's the great lesson of genetics. People are much more connected to each other than they often realize. And what unites us is almost always deeper than what divides us. History often divides peoples into their own and foreign, into close and distant. But when we look far enough back in time, we find something different. We find a world where borders still don't exist, and human destinies are intertwined in ways we can hardly imagine today. Russians and Chechens have walked different historical paths, created different cultures and languages, but genetics shows that deep in the past, their histories have intersected many times. And it is there, among the ancient steppes and mountain passes of the Caucasus, that the true connection between them lies. If you found this research interesting, support the channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing. Thus, we will be able to continue to search for answers to the big questions about the origin of peoples and the hidden connections in the history of humanity. Thank you for being with us. Until the next meeting at the crossroads of history, archaeology, and genetics.